Hello, I am Bentham and welcome to Satisfactory, where we are starting a new series with a different starting location. We're going to be starting in the desert and seeing how the game differs in that particular location.
Pioneer.
Oh,
the following
here we go.
instructional video is a summary of your impending duties as an exoplanetary pioneer for Fixit Incorporated.
All this usual stuff. By the way, fun fact that people have discovered, this video that plays here is actually a separate video file in the game files, and you can swap it out for a different video, which people have now been doing. Unfortunately, you can't tie the sound to it. The sound is fixed to the game, but I like that it just fetches a video file from somewhere to play this thing.
Make sure to report any unusual
We of course know all this
discoveries
stuff
to
by now,
R&D for
from the first
analysis.
series and from the various other things. I've started the game now quite a few different times and gone through those initial parts, so we're going to be trying to rush through this as quick as possible, because the good bits of the game come later when you can properly automate everything. I feel like the game opens up when you get coal, and it takes a little bit of work to get there, so we're going to try and just push through, get to coal, and have some fun making some large-scale production stuff.
Atmospheric entry in 5,
There go the lights.
4, 3, 2, 1. Planetfall procedure initialized.
Also, I noticed that the little tag on your deconstruction gun, or whatever it is like flapping in the wind. However, that makes no sense, because when we're re-entering, the air resistance should mean that that thing's down. We're experiencing, essentially, slowdown from hitting the atmosphere. It doesn't make any sense. Just pointing that out. Devs better fix that. Should hang down. Important, these things. And there shouldn't be any wind in here anyway. Why is it flapping like that? Oh dear. And here we are in the rocky desert. No Ray here, which is quite sad. I'm gonna miss him, definitely. We ventured out far from where he lives.
Planetfall complete. Please ensure the integrity of your multi-purpose exploration suit is at 100%.
And here we are.
Efficiency first. Godspeed.
Alright, so this is the desert, and honestly, looking at it, it's the least deserted desert I have ever seen, and we can tell Ada to be quiet now. We already know everything about all that stuff. I looked at the pod properly, actually. Oh, shush, Ada, I said shush. I want to look at the pod, because I just noticed the inside is sort of weirdly raised. I mean, you can have some space for a heat shield there, and all that stuff, whatever's going on, thrusters and things. Oh, there's lots of boxes in there and stuff. It's slightly weird. It's got supplies in it, but then all you do is just go boop, and it's gone. You have a box now. Right. So yeah, least deserted desert I've ever seen. There's actually a lot of foliage here, and also there's a lot of wood, which is actually fantastic. So, shush, Ada, I'm just gonna be hammering enter a lot in these opening sequences. Shush! Jeez. Once you've got through this bit, it gets really annoying to hear it, like, for the sixth time. Yeah, so, what I've realized is that the desert is actually not that bad for biomass. That was my concern, and that's what the game, I think, says when you're picking your starting areas, is that out of the two biomes other than the grasslands, the desert is lots of open space but very little biomass, and the northern forest is lots of biomass but very little open space. But actually, I don't think the desert's that bad, because there's lots of dead, dried trees around, which means that you can harvest by hand large amounts of wood, which makes the early game easier for biomass, because you don't have to get the chainsaw to be able to grab biomass. I don't care about petals, I know they work. I want to head west. I think I know roughly where I am. So I've had a little bit of a look around at... Oh, I think that is the landmark we're going for. I've had a look around at the map a little bit, and by the way, it is huge. I know I keep saying this, but I keep realizing how huge it is. So everyone thinks that, like, the grasslands makes up like a quarter of the map now, based on what they've seen. Oh, hey there. We just equip this, and also not go there. Let's just avoid this. Can we hop up here?
Please familiarize yourself.
I know, I'll scan for resources. I already know roughly where they are. But yeah, people seem to think that, like, the grasslands makes up like a quarter of the map or something, and then the remainder are the desert and the forest, but actually they are just 3 amongst like a dozen plus different biomes, all of roughly the same size, looking at the map. It's just that these are the ones that have been picked as starting areas. Oh, and we have a crashed pod straight away. First thing we find. Oh, and a friend. Well, let's greet the locals. Get ourselves some alien carapace. There we go. And we can immediately pick up some useful materials here.
On how to defend yourself in the future. I
Is there
recommend
another one?
analysis.
No, there is. You shush. I'm busy. Seems to be stuck in this, which just helps me out. Oh, that's a painful ragdoll. That's a broken back right there. Let's see the drop pod. Needs 21 rotors. So yeah, some drop pods need power to open them. Others need items. And we've already got plenty of like mid and late game items straight away from this debris. I should really have been looking for drop pods more because they actually have a lot of stuff to help you get started and fulfill like requirements for the space elevator and things like that. It's actually quite nice. Okay, that is what we're going for, that big structure right there. So having consulted the map, I found that there's a couple of different places you can start up in the desert. There's 3 or 4 that all have like a decent supply of everything nearby. There's a 4th one that's kind of semi-decent, but I think there's like no copper or something around the place. But over here has tons of iron, and there's also copper and stone, both pretty nearby. And so we want to get started with them. Later on I might start exploiting the other iron resources around the rest of the desert. They're all quite sparsely located, but they're all clustered a lot, so it's easy to just get like some vehicles transporting the stuff in. Also, something I've noticed from looking at like resources and how they're spread around is that the grasslands is just teeming with impure deposits. And we've got something I have to deal with over there, but I'm gonna go over here first. We'll deal with that in a minute. Actually, I think all the deposits around here are guarded. Can I creep over here and start digging, or are you gonna do your thing? I can start digging. Yeah, so the grasslands is just teeming with impure deposits. Tons of them. Shush. Whereas everywhere else has a lot less deposits, but they're all more pure. So right here, around this outcrop, we have 6 normal quality iron ores, which is pretty damn good as things go. And that's roughly the same as what the rest of the locations have. Okay, so these things are fun. Weird plant things that deploy little flying bugs, and they take 2 hits to knock out. And are really hard to spot. They get behind you. You've got to use the sound of them to work out where they are. And they really love to just like run off and then come back at you. Takes a bit of practice to be able to deal with them. They do, though, drop alien carapace, which is nice. Yeah, let's carry on clearing all these out. And roughly around here is where we're going to set up shop. This is my favourite so far of the locations I've seen. Here we go. Get my bearings. Oh, there's another one over here. Yeah, so this out here is a lovely open space, and that's why I picked the desert, because I want a giant open area to build a huge factory, and I plan to use all of this. That's my thinking, is that we annihilate all the foliage around here, we concrete the whole thing, and we just build a massive factory. And you can do that in all the other biomes as well by building like a sky factory, which a lot of people are doing now, where they just find the highest point and then build outwards from there in big platforms. But I like the idea that like the factories are still on the ground, but at the same time I want to have the open space, so this sort of worked out perfectly. Alright, let's take out these guys as well, come on. Usually you do a punch animation, I don't know what triggers it, because normally just hammering the button doesn't do that. Oh, where are you? Oh, they love to like jump behind you and then just like fly away so you can't get them. I hear one behind me, I think. So at the moment you look away, they come for you. They're actually a really annoying enemy to deal with if you don't keep on top of them. They can really hurt you. Like, I've already lost 4 health, and I'm now practiced at dealing with these things, because I did a bit of running around the desert and exploring. So yeah, it's a bit of a mess. But of course, once we've got them cleared out, we won't have to deal with them again. Nothing ever respawns in this game, as far as I can tell, in terms of the local wildlife. I think I'm actually going to go back around here, because there was 3 deposits in close proximity, so that's a very good place to start. Hello there. I'm not going to hurt you. I've been told they don't give me anything, so there's no reason to do the poor things harm. Yeah, here we are. So there's 2 here, and then there's 1 there. That all works. So this is the big area we want to set up our factory in. Let's nestle our base like in amongst the rocks here. I think this seems like a nice spot. We just sit it in here. Oh, and let's do the scanning. Something else I noticed about this particular location. When we boot that, there was 6 little things that appeared here, and then it only shows like central groups of ore when you do the scan, when it shows on the bar at the top. So it's showing like the one we're right next to, and then 2 off in the distance. But also, when you hit the button, a little circle comes out from each nearby deposit, and something that I discovered while wandering around here is if I stand about here and hit scan, there's an iron deposit right here. And this apparently works. It's just completely hidden, and yeah, apparently there are some hidden deposits around the place that are either like supposed to be secret or like haven't been properly implemented yet, or have accidentally glitched below the ground, that sort of thing. And apparently there's a certain region of the map, like beyond a certain point to the east, where everything is hidden for some reason. The only way to find it is to like scan for it and then just stick a miner where it says you can put one. Yeah, let's have our hub sort of nestled in this little corner here. A bit of room though behind so that we can walk by it and get through this neat tunnel here and stuff. At some point we'll get a means to scale all this stuff.
Hub feature, manual craft bench.
Alright, skip all that, we know what we're doing. We gotta make a bunch of iron ingots so we can just sit here and get this all running. So, my plan here is to implement an idea that I had, that I showed in the live stream that I did of the previous series show. By the way, if anyone wanted to see the continuation of the factory in the last series, I did actually continue it. When I asked people whether they wanted to see more of it or not, a lot of people said they wanted to see it. And so what I decided, because there were also some people that wanted to see a new one, and I wanted to try things from the start, knowing everything I know now about the game. Because there were sort of 2 sides to that, and I kind of wanted to begin again, I decided to do both, basically. So I did a live stream, a full 4-hour stream of me in the original series factory, getting to the next tiers of tech and enjoying all the fancier stuff you get there. So if you want to see me working on steel and things like that, I do have an explore of all of those features in that stream. So you get both at the end of the day. You get to see a new start, and you get to see where that factory was going after the weekend, the early access weekend. And yeah, I recorded all of those in the space of that weekend and then uploaded them over the rest of the time. So it was a very, very busy weekend for me, especially considering I wasn't making much at all before then. Right, let's get some milestones just instantly sorted out. Right, yeah, tell me what I get with this, and then I'm going to skip it. If you're gonna. Oh, here we go. Skip. And next one. We can do the next one nearly immediately, I think. Oh yeah, we picked up some copper wire from that drop pod, so we can immediately fulfill the second upgrade as well. Fantastic. Annoyingly, you can't cancel messages while you're in the terminal, so I have to wait till the message appears so I can skip it and hop back in, or I have to listen to all the talking and contend with it. We can even sort out cable, because we already got some of that from the pod. Pods are a really good way to just sort of skip some initial components of the game there. We're straight to working on the 3rd tier of the hub, and let's get an equipment workshop. I'm thinking just around the side here. Oh, we need more iron rods. I used a few too many on the milestones. Let's go just get this node over here. That should give us enough to be getting on with. Then we can make some automatic miners and get that going. We'll have a couple of them down so we can actually get ore at a reasonable speed to start. Yeah, I've gone through the upgrading the hub sections of the game so many times that I'm just learning to rush through this as quickly as possible. With maybe a little bit more handcrafting than the game would like you to do, but it's quicker, and it lets us get to the fun part where we can have more biomass stuff. Just going to open that so it stops. Actually, let's stick our... well, we'll keep hold of the leaves and we can make a bit of biomass with that. Just so we can stick it in the generator we have. We can set up a smelter in a moment to smelt the iron that our portable miners can do. Okay, so yep, we'll get on this smelted, and then this should be the last manual smelting we should need. Well, we might do a little bit just to speed up the process and things. But yeah, I had an idea in the live stream about doing a main bus in Satisfactory, so based on the main bus concept of Factorio, which if you don't know is basically having a central trunk of belts supplying everything you could possibly need down a central area, and then splitting it off to produce things and then putting things back onto the main bus as needed and as produced. And I realized that you could do that in actually a much more sort of space efficient way perhaps in Satisfactory by using the 3 dimensions it gives you, by having vertically stacked belts. Let's try and squish this right up here. By having vertically stacked belts with different items on each layer of the stack. And because belts in the late game get like ridiculously fast, you can actually just have 1 belt per item probably in a lot of cases, and not have to worry so much about throughput. Because like late game belts get to like multiple hundreds of items per second easily. We're talking like, I think the most like the latest game one, which is the tier 6 belt, doesn't exist right now, but when it does, it will be able to transport 900 items per minute, not per second. No, we're not quite that fast. Yeah, I'm just going to immediately plonk down like 3 miners on this stuff, get that going straight away, and then let's do a scan for copper. I believe there's some roughly over here. Yep, there we go, 150 meters this way. So we'll go over and get a miner or even 2 going on that, and just carry on grabbing all of the wood and leaves we can as we go. Better to do it as you're moving around rather than have to go on specific expeditions for the stuff later, though I'm sure I'll have to anyway. Oh, we have some friends here, of course. Alright, let's go for them. Stab, stab, while they're all in one place. Oh, I should have healed before this, actually. This could go wrong for me. I think I got 1. 2, and where's the last one? There he is. Oh, where'd you go? Got ya. There we go. Oh, and there's one of our friends there, which turns out in the changelog are called giraffe, tick, penguin, whale things. That's their official name, I guess. Let's grab some copper to get started with, though we already had a bunch of wire, which has helped us out, so I was able to just make a whole stack of, not a stack, you can't stack them, but a whole pile of miners to get us started with. So we'll stick 2 down on this. That'll help us have to take less trips over here. It's 150 meters, which isn't that much, but you know, it's still a bit of time wasted when we can get straight to it. Oh, and hello there! We have ourselves a lizard doggo. I don't have any berries to give you, so I can't make you a pet. I'm sorry. We'll have to find some, but I don't think you can find berries in the desert biome. I think it's only beryl nuts. I don't know if the lizard doggos have any interest in those, unfortunately. Alright, these guys have already been hard at work. Oh, I can't even grab that. I'm out of inventory space. Oh dear. We dump some more of the foliage and things we've been grabbing. Oh, let's get rid of some of this late game stuff. I can't use these right now. They are far beyond me. All the wood can go. We can't do anything with that right now. Okay, can we make a smelter already, I wonder? We absolutely can. We can make almost 2 of them. Right, let's just stick one right behind the base. Is that lined up? Nope. Let's at least make sure it's aligned correctly, and we can get a power line connected up to it. Get this making iron, and there's your first stack of iron ore. There's more to grab around here. These things are going to be annoying. I think they count as trees, so we can chop them down with the chainsaw a little bit later. Now, do we have stone? Yes, we do. I believe there's some just over here. I can see something guarding something, so presumably, yep. There we go. I think, yeah, there's 3 of them around here. They're sort of spaced out a bit, but it's not too bad. Oh, I should have this equipped. That would have actually given me space to pick up the remaining iron, so whoops. Again, I didn't heal, so there's even more chance that I suffer here. One more of you. Where are you? Damn it. They go high as well. And then they sort of like... I like that when they hit you and when you hit them, they just sort of bounce off you and start rolling around on the ground before they work out what they're doing and pick themselves up again. Alright, some limestone here. Oh, you know what? I should stick down the miners first. That way they can get straight to it and I can loot them just before I set off back. There we go. And we'll harvest this. When you get below 3 health, you heal back up, but I don't want to be tackling those weird bug nest things with just 3 health. It's a little bit risky. I think they do like half a health damage each time they hit you, which is a bit much. Being hit 6 times is pretty easy with those things. Is this working? How much is there in this node? I'm getting 6 each time. There we go. Wow, there was a lot to it. Alright, well, we'll have stone for days then. And off we go. And I think this is a normal node. I think everything around here is a normal node. It's all just the same. Which is weird because back in the grasslands, most of the stuff seems to be impure, and then normal nodes are a rare thing that you occasionally get to come across. So it's an interesting change, and it makes sense that sort of the further afield you go from the nice, safe grasslands that aren't really that safe, oh, well, let's restock this. The more abundant the materials get, so it's the greater risk, greater reward, all that sort of thing. And more more pure deposits sort of lend themselves to a later game kind of build. So it makes sense that you do first couple of tries in the game in the grasslands, and then you advance to the fancier stuff further afield. And of course, you can always connect the two. You can always like leave the grasslands and come to the desert later on, or like hook up deposits from other locations. There's actually another biome in between the desert and the grasslands. This sort of like beach, very rocky beach one. Sort of this weird kind of giant rock structures. So like this stuff, but everywhere that you have to get through, which is interesting. And yeah, there's another route you can take as well. You can end up ascending somewhere over there. There's a giant mountain range you can ascend up to, which has the sort of pink forest on top of it. And then that pink forest leads to a waterfall that you can see from the grasslands. You can go that way, though it's a little bit harder to get around if you try and navigate a waterfall. Kind of one way a little bit in how they work. Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of manual crafting of stuff early on. We need some wire, I believe, to make some more smelters, so let's do that. Also, of course, I think we would need to get to the next level so we can connect up the power with a power pole, or have we already done that, actually? I'm not quite sure, but we'll turn all this into copper for now. We'll get a copper smelter a little bit later. And we also need to make some concrete, and I think at that point we can advance to the next stage. Oh, it's 75 iron we need 2 reinforced iron plates, so we need to start like ramping up some iron stuff, get a little bit more being smelted there. I'm thinking 3 smelters to match the 3 miners that we have. So I've realized that if we go all in on the smelters, then we don't have to lend a lot of power to anything else, constructors and the like. Can't afford this. Oh, I need wire. I only made the copper. And yeah, there's a lot of fog that descends from time to time on this place, makes it very hard to see what you're doing. And the lower altitude you are as well, it seems like the thicker it is. We're not like quite at sea level here. It's not too bad, but if you descend to like one of the rivers, you just can't see in front of your face, which is quite interesting. Makes it sort of exciting because there's any chance that you might just be murdered by some random creature looming out. Speaking of, let me just eat the entire stock of barrel nuts I've gathered so far to heal up all that damage I've taken. And let's get just a bunch of smelters going. Wasting no time here. I know what I'm doing now. I can rush straight through this. So I'm thinking 3 smelters for iron, 1 for copper. Can we make a power pole? Yes, we are allowed to. Let's make 1 here, and then 2 here. And then we'll get power lines. Now, of course, we've got to delete the current power line. Go power line from there to there. And then to there. You connect to these 2. And across to you, and you connect to these 2. That one should be going again. Set this one up for iron. Here's a stack of ore. How are you doing? Oh, nearly a stack of plates for us, and there's another stack of ore for you. And then this one here, another stack of ore for you. And I don't think we've got any copper for this guy right now, but we can go gather some. Probably about time. Something we'll do with that guy over there, but we don't have to expand quite so far over there just yet. Let's loot these again. Oh, remember there's a grab all button now, which is slightly quicker than doing like a shift click to grab everything. We'll go back over here and we'll have 2 stacks of copper to be getting on with, which should probably run us for like the rest of the hub expansion phase, really. You don't really need much of it to be getting on with. Oh, I never picked up this here, the carapace. I was wondering, like, did I actually pick any carapace up from those things I destroyed before? But no, I got slightly distracted by the ore. And yeah, we're going to rush straight through to having the hub done. And then once we're done with that, I probably will rush as much as I can through to coal. Though not sort of like fully there. Some people have been saying, oh, I don't even expand out of my 2 biomass generators at the start. I just handcraft everything to unlock coal. And I'm like, okay, at that point, just make a save. Just make a save at the point where you've unlocked coal, and then never bother with it, because at that point you're just sat in this place hitting buttons, and that's no fun. Make some more biomass. We probably need to make sure we've got something of a stock of it. Also, let's try and make those reinforced iron plates we need. We only need the 2 of them, so it's not too bad. I forget how many screws you actually need. Is it 24 to make one? In which case we've got more than enough. Yeah, we can make 5 reinforced iron plates. So let's make 5, then we can make a constructor if we want to. Making like concrete or something. And then we just need a bunch more plates. Hope to get some more ingots, but then we'll have enough to fill this all in. So there's your 2 of those, and your concrete. And yeah, we just need like 15 plates or something. So we'll just run through these, restock them all. And we're running right at the limits of our power here. I think maybe we can support 1 more furnace if we wanted to. But this is, I've realised, is the faster way to get through this particular stage, is just smelt it all and then the crafting is super fast. And technically you can do it all by hand, but I want to have some automation going because that is the point of the game. Alright, that's enough to get through this one. There you go. Up to level 3. What do we need for the next one? I'm just going to hit the button now. And we have a second generator now, which is good.
Congratulations.
Skip that. And, oh no, we don't have the generator yet. Okay, we'll have to keep working with the smelters that we have. Oh, it's not too much more to get these done. Oh, we're out of cables, though. They served us well. We got to make them ourselves, though, now. So what is it? We need 20 of those. Oh, easy. We've already got that. We'll make a couple extra so we have some for other things we need. We can immediately sort the concrete. Then it's just sort of lots of rods and plates that we need to work on. 75 rods, 100 plates. The 100 plates is the tough part because you need 200 ingots for it. But let's see if we can blast straight through that one. And then the real challenge is the very final stage of the hub. Because you can't expand properly till you've got that. Because you can't make extra power generators beyond the 2 that it gives you. And it's so frustrating because it just holds you back. And not even for that long, but just long enough to be annoying. Just long enough for you to be like, oh, if I could just build more power things, I could get this going so much quicker. I do feel like there needs to be a slight bit of tweaking to the early game grind to make it less of a grind. Because once you've done this once and you know it all, you just want to get through it. And that is enough, I believe, to make all the iron plates we need. And then I think the final one needs some more difficult to put together things like 10 reinforced iron plates and stuff like that. I might need like 500 wires, so we'll probably set up some automation for it. It'd be nice if I could get it done by the end of the episode, but I want to keep these to half an hour if I can. Hub upgrade 4, what do we need for the final one? Yeah, 500 wires. It's going to be a pain. And skip. And carry on. Let's get some more biofuel sorted. Can we make it out of wood yet? I think we can. Let's grab that. Yep, we can make biomass out of wood. Which is great because we can just scavenge by hand for the stuff. And immediately I can make over 4 stacks of the stuff if I even have the inventory space for it. And that is the benefits of the desert. Just from running around and grabbing dried twigs from places, I've got us enough power stuff. So it's quite funny really, because it even advises you in the menu, oh yeah, it's going to be hard to find biomass here, and I'm like, nope, it is super easy. There's just trees everywhere. Like, there's this one open region here, everywhere else is kind of a lot more forested really, if we can get a view of it. Hey, look at all, there's a load of trees over there. This is a desert, but there's plenty of them. So once you get the chainsaw, you can go with all that stuff as well. It's really not bad at all. Oh, we don't need any reinforced iron plates for this. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to make sure we're alright for concrete, and wire is the real struggle. Can we make miners yet? Are they a thing? Or is that not until... Oh, we can make the miner Mark 1. Yeah, maybe it's time to get a little bit of a power grid going. Get some automatic mining of the copper and stuff. Then again, I remember, like, 1 stack of copper gives you... Actually, do we have copper ore on us? Oh yeah, we have a stack of copper already, that's the thing. I've saved myself the journey by grabbing 2 last time. Yeah, I think it's you get 3 wires per copper ingot, so it's actually not that bad. There it is. In fact, yeah, we have enough copper ore to make all the wires we need. So, you know what? I'm just gonna spam my way through this, and then we can get a proper power system, and then we can build actual decent production in the next episode. Yeah, 150 rods and plates. That's just a little bit of busy work we'll have to endure for a moment, and then we're good. I could maybe set up constructors. I have the capacity for a little bit of that. Nah, it's just so much quicker to do it myself for the moment. I don't have any ore left. Oops. Definitely go retrieve some of that in a second, because this is all running out. And this probably isn't quite enough in the way of ingots to tide us over. To get the job done. So, grab all. Grab all. Grab all. Did I get it? Yeah, I think I got it. Let me just check. Do I have 3 stacks? Oh, no, I don't. I have 1 stack. My inventory's full because I made all that biomass. Damn it. You actually have too much biomass early game with this. If you're conscientious about gathering all the wood and stuff you can. Just every time I run through I should be doing that. There we go. Grab and grab. And between this iron ore, I reckon we have enough to finish things off. So, there you go. Grab what remains there. There you go. And there you go. 300 more iron coming up. That's enough alone to make the plates we need, and we already have a fair chunk of stuff supplied. So see how much we can get out of this. It's not enough to get all the plates, but we can get all the rods at least and have that ready. And then we can hop over to grab some stone while we're waiting for that smelting to take place, and we'll be done in pretty short order with the entire first phase of the game. Which works for me. And yeah, because you could do this, I feel like maybe they should make it so the crafting bar occasionally shorts. Then again, you'd just build a second craft bench, wouldn't you? Wouldn't achieve anything. 150 of those, and let's make what we can in terms of plates. And then do a little run for stone. And there we go. And we can put in what we have. Do we have the wire? No, we're not there with the wire. I'll leave everything else for now. Let's go get some stone. Because we're going to need just a little bit more concrete. 2 miners on here will serve as well. I'm actually close to the edge of the map here again, which is funny because it keeps seeming like the map's small because I keep hitting the edge, but it's actually just because both the desert and the grasslands are right on the edge of the map, on the western side of it. Basically, they form the 2 western corners, north and south. Whereas the northeast corner is actually another desert, but like a ridiculously huge open desert. Like, this seems... I mean, this is called the Rocky Desert because there's actually quite a lot of features to it, but there's another desert in the northeast, which is actually just this massive open space of dunes, as far as I can tell. I haven't seen it firsthand, but I've seen maps. And I'm kind of interested to explore it and see like how long it takes to just like journey from one end to the other and stuff like that. And there's a sort of another desert in between as well. There's like 3 different desert biomes, it seems like, that are all sort of different in their properties. Like, I think the other desert is sort of actually quite watery, so I don't know if it can still count as a desert. I don't know what the definition of a desert is. But it seems like it would still count, maybe. I don't really know. Maybe it's an oasis area or something like that. I didn't see sort of what foliage it had. Right, we've got more than enough copper to make the 500 wire we need for this, so that's pretty good. We'll just get up to 500. We can sort out our supplies of things later. There we go. 500 of that, and then we just need the plates. Let's see what we have going here. These are nearly done. That should be more than enough to give us all the plates we need. Already halfway there as it stands. And yeah, that'll get us the 150 plates. And then we'll have the hub upgrades done and we'll be into the proper tier-based researching section of the game, at which point I'll start building miners on all the deposits and actually having them run into smelter arrays, have that going into constructors, and all that good standard stuff. The fun parts. Are we there? Wait, yeah, we're there. Okay. And sorted, that is the hub complete. There's the sonic boom, I think, or whatever it is, as that thing comes into the atmosphere, maybe. Yep, there he is.
Congratulations. You have unlocked
That's a little bit
feature,
fast.
molecular
It's a
analysis
suicide
machine,
burn if I've ever
also
seen
known
one.
as the MAM.
Oh, watch that rock.
Building, biomass burner. Building, space elevator.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah, I was slightly worried for a second the antenna would just go straight through the rock. I did build the landing pad sort of pretty close to a sheer rock face, so it's gonna have to be careful when it lands. But then we have all the tiers unlocked. I'm going to immediately queue up logistics as the next tier because the splitters and mergers are what holds you back after that. Not too bad to make them, but we'll actually automate the production of the materials that particular time around. We can even get some science running in the MAM. We've already got tons of alien carapace going, so we can get that going and maybe not have to wait too long for the gun. We have so much of it because there's always that early game running into monsters that want to kill you phase. Yeah, speaking of, I should probably have this re-equipped, honestly. It's fine, I'll remember if I'm going out somewhere, right? I'm gonna go deal with that guy and stuff. But that is the first phase of the game complete and the end of our first episode. So we've got a bit of smelting. I'm gonna tear this all down later and do a proper one that's all belt-fed, of course. Pretty much immediately. Probably the first thing we do next episode. And then we'll set something up like out in the first parts of this as we start extending in that direction. That's where we're gonna be building everything. It is gonna be cool, and a very, very different landscape to explore. I do love the beauty of the grasslands, but there's something to be said for the look of the desert as well. Just the wide open spaces and the longer views you can get. Admittedly, it's all quite foggy, but still, it's quite cool. And the whole different way that the deposits are arranged is exciting as well. Of it being like a lot of pure small number of pure ones instead of just tons of impure ones scattered about the place. You can center your base a lot more, which is the sort of thing I'm looking for. But there we go, that is our new Satisfactory series, and next episode we will get to the meat of the game, some proper large-scale automation. And with that I shall say goodbye, thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.